I wanted to go through the 10.0 leaks, basically, like leaks, like whatever it was, right? Like the things that they... It seems a little bit weird. I haven't read the entire thing. I have just seen... Okay, I know I'm a little bit late on, you know, reading this. I know I'm a little bit late because all the other content creators basically have already spoken and talked about it. But I still think it will be fun to read with you guys and just to see like what we will think about it, right? So, yeah, there was this post on MMO Champion by a guy who is supposedly has been in a private game dev Discord, and he found like some leaks for 10.0 for like the new expansion, right? And I figure we should just like read this real fast and then see what it's all about, right? Like see what it's all gonna talk about. Yeah, okay, so this is basically the alleged leak, right? Posted on a throwaway for obvious reasons. Here it is, the actual leak. Taken from a private game dev Discord last night. New expansion is straight up called the Dragon Isles. All marketing being put together has the tagline, Azeroth has awoken. New zones, the Dragon Isles. New race, Black Dragons. And new system, World Shaping. This right here... There is no way they're gonna make like a dragon race. Let's just keep reading what the whole post is gonna be about. But just how are you gonna play a dragon? Like how are you going to be playing a dragon flying around on other dragons? Like how is that even? Is it gonna be like the Black Dragon flight in the in Blackburn Lair? You guys know like the ones that run like this? You know what I'm talking about, right? You know those? Yeah, Dragonkins. Maybe it's gonna be like those. Like, you know when you're fighting like Nefarian, right? And they run like... But we'll see. I really... Maybe this is just me. I could see a lot of other races that people would probably rather have than Black Dragons, right? But let's keep reading though. End of Shadowlands. In the fight with the jailer, Azeroth is ruptured. We beat the jailer and saved the planet, but there's consequences. Some stay a while and listen. Events after the event describe the state of Azeroth. Magni reverts back from diamond form. Okay. 9.215 pre-expansion event being put together is huge. Lots of reused events like the earthquakes and invasions, but also a massive time-walking event that's been designed as a mini-season of mastery across of Azeroth-centric dungeons and raids. Devs want players familiar with the history of Azeroth before 10.0, a big tour of old events and lore. Okay. Crazed, Trogs, Quillboars, Mastodon, Elemental Invasion across most of Kalimdor, Eastern Kingdoms, Northern and Pandaria. New world bosses, Garadon, Sol of Wait, Son of Galagrand? You guys know who Galagrand is, right? It's basically like the biggest dragon in World of Warcraft. This looks a little bit scuffed, but it's this one right here. He's like... These dragons you see right here are like proto-drakes, right? Like they're at the size of like maybe Alexstrasza or like the other big dragons basically, and he's like 20 times their size. He's like the biggest dragon in WoW lore. And like there's also he's also like, you can see him right here. This is in Northrend. Like this is part of his spine, right? And if you know how big these like monsters are, like these guys, they are massive. Like this is just like a little bit of the spine, right? Like Galagrand was like a huge, humongous dragon. That's kind of interesting. Okay, well, there's a little bit of WoW lore there for you, I guess. Okay, so it's basically gonna take us back to Azeroth. I do think that's kind of cool in a way. Okay, we're not discussing whether or not this is true right now. We're just discussing like how it is, right? Like, but it's like, I think a big thing that's a little bit sad about retail for me personally is that a lot of the world just doesn't really matter, right? Every single time a new expansion comes out in retail, it sort of nullifies everything up until the new expansion, and then the new little place comes out, right? Bigger than Drogon? Yeah, a lot bigger than Drogon. I don't know why you're referencing Game of Thrones, but yes, he is basically... Like, he would block out the entire sky when he, like, flew over. Like, much, much larger than, like, Deathwing. Like, probably, like, 5-10 times bigger than Deathwing. If you can imagine how big Deathwing is, right? So, Galagrand is, like, the most insanely massive dragon in all of WoW. Yeah, that's how big he was. Cap, no, it's true. You can read the lore, man. Galakrond is literally massive, okay? More big than my brain, and that is the truth. Okay, I know that's very difficult to comprehend. 10.0 cinematic put together is the biggest Blizzard has ever produced. Entire cinema team has been developing this for over a year. All Shadowlands pre-rendered cinematics were scrapped, and the whole team moved on to this as a love letter to Azeroth. Mirrors the original WoW launch cinematic and ends up with Azeroth being born. Dude, they are really playing to, this post is really playing to the feelings of the old school WoW players with this, right? I feel like that's always like a really easy way of bringing people back. I think that's how a lot of people got back to BFA and to Shadowlands. Not Shadowlands so much, but BFA. That's what happened, sort of like, that's literally what happened with Warlords of Draenor. They were like, oh, dude, this is gonna be like so sick, dude. Like, it's gonna be like the old school stuff, right? Galakrond's wing reached Dragonblight edge to edge. Yep, Galakrond, I'm not kidding, guys, when I say Galakrond is literally 10 times bigger than Deathwing. That's not a meme. He was like the biggest dragon ever in WoW lore. But this is what they do a lot, right, with these kind of things. They are doing that, right? But they kind of just repeat and play to people's feelings, right? That's just how it is. As a result of the Jailer's assault, Azeroth the Eternal is born from the world soul. She's a dragon, sort of. Wait, so we wake up Azeroth? I mean, Azeroth is like a... I don't know my WoW lore too good. I know some stuff, but Azeroth is like alive, right? And then you wake up Azeroth and stuff like that? Okay. I mean, the way that this is put in, it kind of sounds a little bit like the Final Fantasy stuff with, like, you know, a Realm Reborn, I suppose, right? You know that Final Fantasy nuked the entire game?
His size alone was greater than all of the aspects combined.
Yeah.
Large enough that the only possible being Galakrond could be compared to was himself.
Yep. That's literally it. Yeah, I mean, he was sick. I remember seeing those pictures back in the day and was like crazy. And like, even if you played Wrath back in the day, you could probably like, you've probably seen all the skeletons around of Galakrond, right? So all world souls are unique, and Azeroth's essence has directly shaped the planet for eons. Dragons are tied directly to Azeroth, who's sort of the dragon I don't know this word. Procretinator. Okay, I guess that's why. Okay. Once players reach Dragon Isles, they work directly with Azeroth to reshape the world. Story here is that the planet has taken a beating over the last couple of decades, and having dire consequences for everybody living there. Okay. Azeroth as a character is described sort of like Lilo from the Fifth Element. A supreme being with the mind of a child. Players need to help her unlock her powers to heal the planet. It sounds very similar to the wounds of Azeroth. Oh god. She's in the Temple of Dragon Isles with Thrall and Wrathion. And Lords of Earthwater lore, as the three of them do what Deathwing couldn't. Sounds very, very much, man. Like, so is the next thing we're gonna have to farm, like, is a bunch of, like, you know, Dragon Eggs or something like that? Okay. Azeroth, as her own talent tree, looks very much like the old school talent trees from Classic. Players can help her by training via this tree. Each talent is also usable by players through the World Bond ability. Okay, this sounds... I'm not a big fan of borrowed power. It kind of like the whole borrowed, I can't even speak. The whole borrowed power thing is just sort of like... It builds upon the fact that, like, every expansion kind of destroys the previous one completely, and it makes it, like, not playable, right? So it's like, what's the point? It's just not cool. I don't like that. I really think... I haven't really played a lot of Final Fantasy, but I do know some stuff about it, and I know that, like, in Final Fantasy, all the expansions, all the previous expansions still are playable and, like, good content to do in the game, which is, I think, is cool, right? Because I really dislike the whole fact that, like, everything just becomes, like, unimportant and, like, doesn't matter after a new expansion comes out, right? But yeah, new abilities like the Coven abilities, but no additional locked-in choices. Everybody gets the same abilities. Abilities have secondary effects depending on the zone you're in. For example, it's an ability like Abomination Limb that also works as a grapple hook. Okay. I mean, I don't really mind that, but it's just like, the whole borrowed power thing is not that nice, I think. Dragon Isle zones change over time via world shaping. Some pretty cool changes, like a whole zone turning into a desert and a forest. Zones is heavily elf focused, with night elves trying to discover a way to restore Tildersul with Azeroth's help. You plant trees to tend to a huge forest fire, like a massive version of the mob farm. I don't really know much about the mob farm, but okay, we're going by the standards of like, this is gonna happen, right? Like, this is gonna be a thing. This is obviously not real. It's like a leaks. This might not be like real at all. It might just be complete like meme, right? But yeah, I don't really know what to say about this. I don't really know much about the mob farm personally, but I am really not a big fan of borrowed power. Like, that just doesn't sound that fun, man. It really doesn't. I like my character just progressing and being stronger, not my character borrowing like a legendary that like everybody also has, right? But yeah. World shaping unlocks new abilities to each zone: water walking, flying, teleporting, spectral sight, and treasure finding. Okay, so more borrowed power, poggers. Some older zones in Eastern Kingdom, Kalimdor, will be getting big updates during the expansions. I really would like to see, like, in terms of WoW, like, it would just be cool to, like, go back to a more simple thing, right? Instead of, like, being in literal space, fighting, like, some jailer demon from, like, a 5th dimension with, like, you guys know Dragon Ball? It's a little bit like Dragon Ball. Like, Dragon Ball was a lot cooler back in the day, when it was a little bit more chill and like the powers were not so extreme. Maybe some of you guys don't like Dragon Ball, but it's the best real example I can give right now, right? And then, you know, the newer and the stronger and stronger all the Dragon Ball characters became, the more ridiculous it just became, right? Like, the whole like Dragon Ball, the newest Dragon Ball is like, it's just ridiculous. It's just too much, you know? The power creep is just ramping too much, and it just becomes like they're fighting literal gods of like other dimensions, and their like punches like hit through actual like time continuum. It's like, okay, what happened to just like them fighting normal humans and being a little bit stronger than those guys, right? That was just more fun. But yeah, that's just how it is with these kind of things. When you've built a game over 15 years with a new expansion every 2 years or so, it just becomes too much, right? It just becomes too much at a time. Twisted, thank you for the continued sub, man. New dragon race. Yeah, I don't know about the dragon race, man. Black dragons works like Worgen. Customize your dragon form and humanoid appearance. Humanoid can be any race, including allied races. Extra customization options for humanoid form, including horns, tails, jubilee, scales, as well as effects like burning eyes and molten blood. I could see the humanoid form being a thing, but like turning into like a dragon, it just seems so like too much. Is that weird, guys? Like, it just seems too much. Like, you turn into like a dragon. Like, I don't know. It sounds like too much, man. Dragon form is mainly used for travel and 2 racial abilities. Story will explain why black dragons needs to learn how to fly to, like mortals as one of the classes. Okay, so it's like a mount. So they fight in the human form, but they turn into a mount. Black dragons can be warriors, mage, rogue, druid, hunter, warlock, priest, shamans, and paladins. All the original WoW classes. Dude, they got everything. Black dragons lore, druid lore, and shapeshift forms are super fun. What does that even mean? What does that even mean? It was super fun, man. That's crazy. Yeah, they're epic, man. Trust me. They're sick, dude. It's gonna be epic. Rathian has been trying to restore the Black Dragon fight since Cataclysm. Players are new dragons that Rathian has been overseeing in the Dragon Isles. Rathian has recruited kidnapped class trainers from all over Azeroth to train his new flight. The Warlock trainer will cause some players to flip out. Okay. Since the battle with Deathwing, all dragon aspects has been losing their magic. New dragons players need to learn how to fight alongside mortal races to save their race. Rathian's big thing is reversing the loss of magic from dragons completely and protecting his flight. No big bad in 10.0, but there are infinite dragons, Netherwing, and some new Dragon Isle specific proto races. There's a pretty fun word, a race that's actually super advanced and intelligent. Going back to smaller contained zones, focus on big discovery, soft rebooting Azeroth, the planet, and setting the future up for future conflicts. A lot of the things, I mean, it does sound pretty interesting, but it's just like, a lot of these things are kind of weird, I'm not gonna lie. I really, this is pure hope and cope, obviously, but just nuke Azeroth, okay? Just goddamn nuke it, okay? And just start fresh. Make WoW 2.0, okay? Just start fresh. We killed the jailer, everything is happy, the massive meteor hits, and we just start fresh, okay? I don't care if people are gonna flame them for copying Final Fantasy, they should do it. That's what I think, okay? Because I feel like a lot at this point, a lot of people play the game because they're so tied and so invested to their character, right? Like even me, I don't play retail a whole bunch, but like I still am I'm very tied and very like emotionally invested into when I log into my old warriors and stuff like that, like my characters, it's hard not to, right?
Here's my theory about the dragon form.
Okay.
What if the form is like the demon hunter's metamorphosis? Use an ability and whoops, you have wings, horns and scales, etc. But you still look humanoid. In my opinion, that would be pretty cool for like 2 months.
For like 2 months. I feel like that's the whole thing with WoW nowadays, though. Like it's pretty cool for like 2 months, and then it's like over, right? That's how it is, man. God damn, man. This is always how it is with like new WoW stuff, I feel like. But I don't know, man. I genuinely, I'm not trying to be cynical about the whole thing, but like, I really want retail to do well. I want WoW to do fantastic, but I'm just so, I just don't believe at this point that they can make it back, right? Like it's just so far from like what I feel like it was anymore, right? You know. It simplifies the epicness of dragons. Dragons are supposed to be OP and untouchable, being super hard and out of reach. Yeah, but like how it is with WoW is that they want everybody to feel like that. Everybody is like the anime main protagonist that has like infinite power and can like, you know, do everything. That's just how it becomes, you know? Instead of you being like a little traveler trying to make your way through the world, you are like the king, right? Like doing everything basically. What's up, Jack? How you doing, man? My mom told me I'm special too. Yeah, but like, we'll see, man. I kind of doubt this is gonna be the new expansion, the Dragon Isles. I mean, I know a lot of people probably have been asking for like Dragon Isle expansion for a while, but honestly, I don't know what the next. I have no idea because Shadowlands right now is sort of like the end of an era, right? You know, it's like the jailer is dead. We've done the whole space thing. Now they need to do something new. Right? It has to be something new. And what will that be? Could it be the Dragon Isles? Possibly. But it could also be something completely different, right? It could also just be this, but like not with all the details, right? We'll see. It's been a leak for a lot of expansions now. Yeah, a lot of people are like hoping for like the Dragon Isles to be expansion for sure. You know, that's definitely true. How about Underground World at the High Realm? What about an Emerald Dream expansion? I remember when I was a kid and I played WoW, I was so fascinated with the Emerald Dream. I was like, it blew my mind. Like that there was like some place like that, but like I don't know. I'm not too sure, man. There could be many different like ways to do this, right? But it's literally Azeroth but green. The most important thing is, I guess, is just to make the game feel good again. Like, make it feel enjoyable and playable and having people care about the MMO as a whole, right? Because I think a lot of people don't right now, which is kind of sad.